Both Bitcoin and Ethereum are forming possible bullish patterns, but do they have the strength to push through? Or will the bearish resistance above take us all the way back down to our lows again? Let's take a look at the charts to see what could be happening. All right, taking a look at the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, you can see we broke out of the falling wedge we talked about yesterday quickly and easily, and we actually met the price target right around 31,800. Nice. And we actually even came above the EMA ribbon on the 4-hour chart here. Though you can see on the daily chart, we're still below the EMA ribbon, so we haven't really worked through really tough resistance at the daily level. But the nice thing is, if you go back to the 4-hour chart here, you can see we're actually forming a possible inverse head and shoulders pattern here. We've got a shoulder, a neck, and another shoulder possibly forming here. And you can really see, if we zoom in here, how price over the last day here has really gone flat as we potentially form this shoulder. And it's clear that the neckline is right about here. So right around this $32,200 mark, that's the neckline. We need to close above here to try to form this inverse head and shoulder pattern. And if we break it, then the target price would be all the way up here around 34,600, 34,700. So that'd be a nice about 8% move if it happens, right? But the key here is we need to break above this neckline. If it doesn't break above it, it's not legitimate, it's not going to happen, and most likely, if that happens, we're just going to fall back down, probably back towards the lows again. So this is really a critical moment for Bitcoin. See if the momentum we had yesterday can continue and break out to higher ground. And again, it could be as much as an 8% gain on this inverse head and shoulders pattern if it breaks out. Now let's take a look at the longer term chart here for Bitcoin. This is also daily, but it's stretching back quite a bit more. And you can see we broke out of this really long descending triangle pattern yesterday as well. And we're sitting above, but we don't have a whole lot of volume still. And there's still a chance that we could fall back down into this triangle and even go below. So we're still not out of the clear by any means. And again, we still have this huge wall of resistance here with the EMA ribbon. It'd be nice to see us at least start working through this EMA ribbon a little bit here on the daily chart. Until we can clear this level a little bit, start getting, into the $32,600 mark and above, you have to be really, really wary right now. We're still in a bearish market here. We had one nice day yesterday, but you need to be really careful, and let's get more confirmation before we get too excited. And ultimately, until we clear about the 41,000 mark here, you really can't be too confident at all. So let's see how this plays out. We had a nice day, and let's see if we can have this inverse head and shoulders pattern play out for us. Okay, so now let's take a look at Ethereum. Here we're looking at the 4-hour chart. And you can see we're potentially forming an inverse head and shoulder pattern here, right? So potential shoulder, potential head, potential shoulder. Still really early because this hasn't really formed much. And the neckline would be right about here. So a little over 2020-ish or so. So we need to see a close above there to feel, before we start thinking that an inverse head and shoulder pattern might be valid here. But also we're looking like we're due for some consolidation for a little while here before we try to break above. And you can also see on the 1-hour chart that we've got a little bit of a divergence from an RSI perspective. So RSI in the 1 hour is going down while price is going up, right? So not a huge, it's a 1-hour chart, so not a terrible thing per se. But it does lead me to believe that we might see a little bit some choppiness in here, potential small downtrend, consolidating basically to form this shoulder before we try to move higher. And of course, if we break below these levels, then we might be looking at dropping back down towards our lows again. You can see though, on the 4-hour chart, we are above the ribbon, but on the daily chart, just as with Bitcoin, we still have not pierced this EMA ribbon. So until that starts to happen, we really can't be too confident about these moves. And you can see how the neckline here aligns with the bottom of this daily EMA ribbon. So this is really a critical price zone that we need to see some positive action in before we get too confident about an upward move for Ethereum. Going back to this chart for Ethereum, though, we also have, let me get rid of this neckline. We also have a potential bull pennant forming, though. So, again, this is the 4-hour chart for Ethereum. You can see potential flag here. Sorry, I should have said bull flag, not pennant. And here's the flagpole. So again, if we can break above this point here, then we'd be looking at price move up to the 22,030 level or so, which is pretty close to our inverse triangle or inverse head and shoulders breakout as well. So two different potential bullish scenarios here for Ethereum. We got the inverse head and shoulders, and we've got this bull flag. The bull flag pennant or bull flag pattern here is actually due to break out in the next, what is this, 18, 20 hours here. So again, for Ethereum, we're looking at two potentially bullish patterns here. One is a bull flag, which could resolve in the next 18 to 20 hours here, and the other is a inverse head and shoulders pattern, which also would have a upward price target of somewhere around 2250, 2260 or so. So a nice potential 10% plus gain if that happens. But as we said, we've got all this resistance here in the daily chart in the EMA ribbon, and so it's very possible we just get rolled over again here and we just start going back down towards the lows. So to summarize, both Bitcoin and Ethereum had some nice price action yesterday, and we've got some good possibilities set up from a pattern standpoint, but we really need to get through this resistance, especially on the daily chart here. If we can get some positive movement above, then some of these patterns can play out and could be really nice gains in the short term. But again, we've had so much bearish action here over the last 2 months that we can't assume this is going to happen. And if we do get rejected again, then we're probably heading back down towards the lows. So be careful, be ready, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.